Vic Jagger in the morning with Huggy Lowdown on Magic 102.3 and 92.7. I can honestly say that in my 20 plus career, this is the first time I am interviewing this legend, this icon. So I got to do it properly. Okay. We're talking about Grammy Award winning Billboard, MTV Video Music, NAACP Image Award, and Soul Train Music Award winning artist, Urban One Honors Entertainment icon, Long Island Music Hall of Fame inductee, Hollywood Walk of Fame recipient, the first hip hop artist to receive a Kennedy Center honor, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, recipient of the Key to the City in Queensboro, an Emmy nominated actor and host. There's a reason why we call him the GOAT. He is LL Cool J. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I tell you, boy, I gotta get that on a T-shirt or something, man.
Oh, you should.
That's funny. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. I feel good. Glad to be here. Glad to see you.
Your career is amazing, and I have to start off by saying this though. So I was a youngin, right? Youngin, born in '82.
Yeah.
So my uncles loved you, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have our cookouts. They would be rapping your songs, but we would think that they're freestyling and rap, and we would be like, "Oh my gosh!" So we would go to school. Yeah, my uncle said X, Y, Z. And it was like, that sounds familiar.
Yo, that's funny.
Actually, my
That's
uncle
funny.
called himself LL Cool V. I mean, it was like a whole thing. And so we were just like, I've been waiting for a long time to tell you that.
Nah, that's funny. That's why I love what we do. You know what I'm saying? That's why I love hip hop. Because you get to touch people, we get the vibe, we get the, you know what I'm saying? Like, make dreams a reality. You know what I mean? That's funny.
Yes. And
Run
let's
around at the barbecue biting. Yeah.
Okay, biting for real. Like we thought it was
I love
them.
it.
Like y'all got bars.
I love it. Love it. I love it.
So congrats on the new single, the new video, Saturday Night Special with Fat Joe and Rick Ross. Streaming everywhere, y'all. So I definitely want to get to your new music, but let's take it back for a second to your amazing career to the start. And I'm talking about I Need a Beat, LL. I'm talking about Kango, Crush Groove, Box.
Yeah.
That's all we had to say was Box.
Yeah.
LL.
Box. Box.
Did you ever think that hip hop would take you this far in your career? From everything that all the accomplishments that I just, ran down, which is not even all of it.
Yeah.
Did you ever think starting out that it would take it this far?
I don't think I ever pictured, all of the awards and everything you said, right? Like, on my first record, I said, I predict this jam will hit the highest plateau in the world of music, paparazzi, wealth, and fame, the total propulsion of my name. I said that on I Need a Beat. But I didn't see it unfolding like the things that you just said. You just, like, at the end of the day, I just wanted to hear my voice on the radio because I felt like, people in my neighborhood were invisible. You know what I'm saying? And the only time you heard anything about us is when we was handcuffed, getting put in a police car or something. So it was like, this is an opportunity to feel empowered and do your thing. You know what I'm saying? And so that was the real reason I wanted to do it. It just felt, there's something about creativity that is very freeing and makes you feel powerful, whether it's on the basketball court, whether you in a beauty salon, whether you, in practicing law, whatever it is you do, there's something real freeing about that human spirit. I think that's that inner godness in us, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was created in the image to go out there and create. So that was really it. I didn't see all of these things, but I just believe that, nothing can last forever, but it could definitely last a lifetime. You know what I'm saying? It's just how you do it. You know what I mean? So,
and you have the song Mama Said Knock You Out.
Yeah.
One of the things, or I should say two of the things that I do want to know is what were your mama I made it moments in hip hop first, and then as an actor? Because we all know that we have that one moment where it's like, oh my gosh, Mama,
Right.
I made it. Like either it was on the radio or your first Grammy win, or it could be something that, just is personal to you that was like your personal goal. But what was that Mama, I made it moment in hip hop and as an actor?
Wow, that's such a good question. So I, there were two, a couple, but I would say the first one was, when Rick Rubin, called me back. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had Def Jam Productions. It was in a dorm room at NYU College. Def Jam Productions had a song out on the Party Time Streetwise label called "It's Yours" by Tila Rock. I called that number, sent them a demo, called them, bugged them every day for like 2 weeks. Finally, he called me back, heard the demo, and I went and met him. He came downstairs. I'm like, yo, you Rick Rubin? He like, yeah. I said, oh, I thought you was black. He said, oh, cool. We went upstairs, you know what I'm saying? So we working. That was one moment in terms of like, but I guess with my mother, it would be when I got my first contract and like, damn, probably buying her a house. You know what I'm saying? Probably buying my mother. I bought my mother a house when I was 17. So
Wow.
that was
Huge accomplishment.
I mean, a 17-year-old buying your mother a house is pretty crazy. That's not now that I look back then it seemed normal, but now looking back, I'm like, wow, this smart little kid.
Meanwhile, everybody graduating and they're like, wow, so you just buying.
Everybody graduating. People, I had girls ask me, oh, could you take me to the prom? I'm like, I ain't going to that. I ain't going to that, man. I went, y'all, it's the worst. I ain't care nothing about those proms, none of that. I ain't going, baby. I'm like, yo, bought my mother a house and I'm on the road. So that was the one. And then I would say, really, it wasn't really acting, but my mother seeing me in Crush Groove, like me doing a movie. Like, I mean, it's in a movie. It wasn't like necessarily, well, I did do a little acting walking in, but I was performing. But that would probably be those two moments.
Just seeing you.
Yeah, on the big screen.
Yeah.
Yes, seeing me on the big screen. So me buying our house, her seeing me on the big screen, those were kind of the real spectacular moments. And then, besides that, man, like my aunts, finding me lawyers and, because, to look at these deals, like,
Right.
it was just like all of that made it very real for my family. You know what I'm saying?
I love that though.
Yeah.
And you and so many other hip hop pioneers like paved the way. When you think about the industry now,
yeah,
what are some of the barriers? Because you talked about the lawyers. That's early on in your career with your family really looking out for you.
yeah.
But I think a lot of the new generation don't really understand the barriers that you guys broke down for them to be able to have these brand deals or certain contracts, certain rights of publishing, just certain things in the industry. What are some of those barriers that you feel like, that you look back now like, hey, y'all got it good? Because we had to really work for that.
Well, it's interesting. I think everybody works based on their circumstances. I'll tell you, I'm gonna be real with you, Vic. I didn't see a lot of barriers because, like, when I got my first deal, it was a 10-album contract, and to me, that was like a huge opportunity. So I looked at a 10 albums. Like now, somebody might say 10 albums, you're trying to get me. But for me, 10 albums, and I looked at it like, yo, that's a huge opportunity. That's like it would be like whatever your dream is, I'm giving you 10 chances to make it come true.
Okay, yeah.
That's how it felt to me. Now, okay, so now when you talk about barriers, okay, let's talk a little bit about the differences in the industry. They weren't necessarily barriers because we were paving the way. Where there was a forest, now there's a freeway. It's more like that. Yeah. So like radio, for example, my music, like when I first started, they didn't play hip hop in the daytime, period. You played it maybe a couple of hours on the weekend, maybe. Every city was different. Everybody had their own version of it. But anybody who's probably even an older generation of yours can relate to the fact that like hip hop was not played during the daytime, not played on the radio. So you didn't have the same outlets. That's one. Two, visuals. Nobody played it, period. Three, like really early on, I'm talking about 84, 85, 86. Later on it came, but 84, 85, 86 was a little different. Then you know, it was just there were no managers, there were no like managers who specialized in hip hop and publicists that specialized in hip hop. They came around, there was a few, but it was very few. So, but it wasn't a barrier. It was more about us getting out there and creating something new, you know what I'm saying? And creating a new world and a new energy and a new opportunity. So I don't look at a youngster who comes in the game or artist who comes in the game now and look at them like upset because maybe they can use Pro Tools and get their record out in 15 minutes and everybody's dancing to it and they're getting, I don't look at it like that. I look at it like, wow, look what I helped create.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I look at it like, yo, I really helped create this. Like I'm one of the people that really helped create it. I didn't create it, I helped create it. I really helped elevate and further it from Flash and the Treacherous and from the Fearless, from Crash Crew, all these guys that, you know, I listen to because I'm not like the first generation that grew up on it. But here's the thing. The key though with art is that, especially hip hop, it's about being multidimensional. That means that you can celebrate the past, you're relevant in the present, and you're creating with the future in mind, and you're innovating with the future in mind. That's why, you know what I'm saying? So like the other side of this coin is that we have a tendency, it's like kind of ingrained in our DNA to believe that if an artist steps away for 10 years or 15 years or 12 years and they take a hiatus, they're unable to perform or do it at a high level anymore. I took that as a personal challenge to show people that you can continue to take it to the new heights. And the genre as a whole is so young, you know what I'm saying? So people say, oh, you know, 50 years of hip hop been around a long time. But if somebody transitions at 50, you're like, wow, that was young. So so you realize that the genre is really not that old when you look at it for real in human years. So there's room. What I'm basically saying is, everything that's happening right now in this generation and everything that we did, the only thing that ever's going to matter when it comes to music, which is painting on silence, is people press and play. Can you deliver? You know what I'm saying? Can you deliver? Can I move you? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to get them goose pimples or them goosebumps on your skin? Can I move you? You know, are you moving the crowd? That's really ultimately
and we saw that from you, like even with you being so instrumental in the celebration of Hip Hop 50, all of the touring, the resurgence of a lot of the greats. We know that, you know what I mean? Like your longevity is incomparable. The longevity and being relevant and still being able to do those commercial records, to do big tours, to do all of that, you're still relevant. And so now you were quoted as saying, it's go time. Okay.
100%.
It's go time. The new single, Saturday Night Special, featuring Rick Ross and Fat Joe.
Yeah.
I know there's an album coming.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is just like, we're getting like a little taste of what to expect, especially a Q-Tip produced album.
It's a kiss on the neck, man. It's a hug and a kiss on the neck, man. We ain't all the way there yet. We just get rolling, man.
We call it a nuzzle.
It's just a little nuzzle, man. We ain't even get rolling yet, man. We just kind of getting this thing going, man. And it's like, that's what I wanted to do. Like, look, the record is about staying solid, and because that works on the streets, in the deep part of the street, that works at nursing school, whether you're trying to be a lawyer, it works at football practice, it works in life in general. Staying solid, saying what you mean, meaning what you say. That's the essence of the song. And then, you know, always keeping your word and paying it back. What I wanted to do is, it's just like James Cameron doing a movie, or like them doing a Lord of the Rings movie. It's like, yo, when I drop something, I want it to be special. I want it to be amazing. I want it to be innovative. And I want to push the culture forward and elevate it. And that's the goal. You know what I'm saying? And when they hear the album, you know what I'm saying, which I'll swing back around to tell you about in detail. But when they hear this album, they're going to see what I mean by like elevating it and moving it forward sonically. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not trying to capture the past, and we're not trying to follow the present. We're trying to pave the way for the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you've always done that. Like when people think, okay, LL has this ballad record, but then he has this, aggressive that hip hop record, but then he can come and get your head sprung.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, I like to, you
like
know what? I don't,
now,
yeah,
who call you Big Ellie? Now, I want to know
well,
because we all still calling you Big Ellie, and
I've heard it before. I've heard it. You know what I mean?
no,
What can I say? I mean, if they want to call me Little Ellie, you
no,
want to call me Little Ellie, by all means, call me that. Like anybody who feels they prefer
no.
to call me Little
See,
Ellie, I'm very comfortable if you want to call me Little Ellie. You can call me Little Ellie.
no,
I'll
we're gonna
take
call you
that.
Big Ellie. We're
Yeah,
gonna call you Big
all right,
Ellie.
okay, okay. You know, you
But
know.
you when you have this I don't want to say hit list of artists or just the features, people that you thought about for the album, were you
Right.
very meticulous and intentional about who you wanted to be a part of this project? And then
Okay.
was that the inspiration for putting out this particular single?
So yeah, very particular because I felt like the things that when I wrote Saturday Night Special and I wrote the chorus and I had this song and these verses, I felt like Ross and Joe embodied a lot of the things that that they would understand what I was talking about. And they would be able to relate to what I was talking about in a way where they could kind of bring their own interpretation or vision to the song in terms of what they would write for themselves. And so that was very important. It wasn't just like, yo, who's hot, slap them on there, or who's relevant, or who's like, it's none of those things. It's about who would sound great on the record and who would complement the ideas behind the record, behind the song. And that's what I always look to do. If I'm going to collaborate. I didn't make collaborations on every song, but there are quite a few features, and those features are very intentional and based on the sonics of the song, the idea behind the song, and who I think fits with it. You know what I'm saying? And then who's comfortable rocking with me? You know what I'm saying? Like who wants to get down and play? You know what I'm saying? And so it's like I feel real good about it. You know
Is
what I'm
this
saying?
is it fun like just getting back into because there was a gap between your last project and this one. However, as you said, it's like in your veins. This is something that you are passionate about. So getting back into the studio, how do you approach new music? How do you stay inspired, with the time gap? Like, is it just like riding a bike? Like you back in the studio, you feeling the vibe and it just starts coming?
And you know what? It's all those things. It's like, it's getting back in it's like going back in the kitchen. It's like, it's like, hugging somebody, intimately, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
you know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what it is, and you just, you
Yeah.
in this moment, you're self-aware, you're in the present moment. You know what I'm saying? You're not living in the past. You're not concerned. Like you in the moment. And that's what I do. And so like, when I create, and I'll tell you one thing too. The other thing is that it's about like absorbing the world until you feel truly inspired. Sometimes people they make commercial considerations before they make artistic considerations. And then it's about not letting yourself get separated from the people. If you want to make something that's going to impact the world, then you have to understand what people are going through. And that, when you jumping in and out of whether it's an Uber Black or SUV or a town car, or whatever it is you're doing, or your fancy car, or if sitting in the boardroom, or if you're doing meetings and this, and you got to be able to relate. Like if a lawyer really wants to relate and defend his client, he has to be able to relate to that client's life and his lifestyle and the lifestyle of the jurors, the people out there that, you know what I mean? So as an artist, you have to understand that. So that means you have to be connected to the people. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like, doing all that, running around during the pandemic, being in the projects, with a mask on and a hoodie, people not knowing who I was. I'm just walking around like, with a like in disguise. I'm walking around the whole city. I'm all on Coney Island, like I'm everywhere, subway. And like for me, that kind of inspiration, you know what I'm saying, is what it takes if you really want to make great quality art to me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it matters. Your opinion on that and your perspective on that matters. Just two more questions. In celebration of Black Music Month, does the GOAT have a GOAT?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's so many great artists. I mean, so many magical artists. I mean, I don't have one, but I'll tell you,
Okay.
like if you look at like, to go from a Michael Jackson to a Bob Marley to a James Brown, I mean, you know
Okay.
what I'm saying? Like just them three right there is crazy. And on different levels, a Marvin Gaye and a Rick James, and then, you know, and those are artists, but at the same time, like, you know, um, I love a lot of new
List.
music, you know what I mean? Like,
That's a great list.
I like a lot of Scissors music. You know what I'm saying? Like I think she made some slick songs. I'm not saying the GOAT. Like I'm not trying to put her in a category with Mike. I mean, who's in that category? I
Yeah,
don't know. I'm in that, that's Mike.
because that's
But
why
I'm
I was
just
like,
saying.
that's a good list.
Yeah, but I'm just
That
saying,
was a
like
great
them
list.
three. Yeah, those three though. Like Bob
Okay.
Marley. Because if you think about the songwriting, you think about
Yeah.
the way they write, the way they create. That's the thing, right? It's like,
Those classics.
yeah,
Those.
man, yeah. It lives
All
forever.
right. And finally, what do you hope your legacy will be in music and entertainment?
Keep it real with you, Vic. I don't even think about that because the people gonna make their decision anyway. And ain't nobody gonna be here to craft their legacy. Because I don't
Yeah.
care what you if
I
you
think your career has crafted it, and there's a message in that. And so
right. But here's the key though, Vic. Your career can craft it, but people gonna interpret it. That's like that old thing. That's thing you see on the internet. You put a glass of water up there and say, "All right, go ahead and argue." It's not a glass; it's a cup. It's like I don't care what you put up there.
Okay.
They gonna make their decisions, man. You know what I mean?
You're like,
If
I can
anything,
have it as one thing, but somebody's going to interpret it totally
no
different.
question. The best thing you could do is put "See you soon" with a smiley face on your tombstone, B. You like it, just make them laugh, man. That's about the best you can do. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like it is what it is, man. Like people go
Yeah.
make their own decisions. What I tell you, we got to do is live in the moment, create in the moment, do greatness now. I'll let everybody else worry about all that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to make me self-conscious and careful. I'm trying to conquer this. I'm trying to conquer this, and be bold and create what I want to create. I'm hungry. I'm not like I'm not concerned with legacy. Doesn't mean it don't matter, but it's not a concern. My focus is on doing great stuff now for you, for me, for us, so we can take it to the next level. That's what I'm talking about. And then everybody, they can decide all that and debate it, because this person's gonna think Grammys are important. This person's gonna think Billboard charts important. This person's gonna think the impact you had on certain lives is important. This person's gonna think sales are important. You know what I mean? So it's always
You must be on Twitter, because those are the debates that happen on Twitter.
yo.
So you are always the GOAT in my eyes and in a whole lot of other people's eyes. And we thank you for all your contributions. And we look forward to the album. Please come back. I want to talk about the album. But right now, it's all about Saturday Night Special with
We'll
Rick
make it real
Ross
special.
and Fat Joe. I'm so happy for you. And I'm so glad that you're back in the studio. Thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate you, Vic Jagger.
All right.
Much love, baby. Talk soon.